Okay guys, I need some rusk today. And what is rusk, you're asking? Well, rusk is a dried cereal based filler that's used in pies and sausages. And it can be ground up into pinhead medium or coarse consistency. And when you add it to pies and sausages, the rusk absorbs liquid and it binds the meat and the fats together. And it also holds in all the juices. And it's very simple to make. All we need is some plain flour, some water, pinch of salt and some baking powder. So let's get on with it. Okay then, so the best way I've found to do this is 2 to 1 flour to water and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So if you remember 2 to 1, you won't go far wrong. Oh yeah, a pinch of salt as well, but that's, don't measure that. Okay, so I'm going to do 200 grams of flour, plain flour. Don't like these thin paper bags, it goes everywhere. I'm only making a small amount. You can make loads and freeze it. Keeps forever. Right, I say 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm not going to bother sieving it in, I'm just going to sprinkle it over a bit. Mix it in before I put the water in. That'll do. Finish with that, and I've got 100 ml, just over 100 ml of water, so I'll put most of it in, get it mixing with a fork. And when it's come together a bit like this, it's time to get your hand in there. I'll do a reckon. If it's a little bit too wet, add some more flour. A little bit too dry, add some more water. Okay, that'll do. Onto the surface then. I'm just going to work it for a little bit just to get all the flour nice and wet. We're not trying to make a proper dough with this. Yeah, that'll do, I reckon. Right, what we do now is roll it out. A little bit of flour, don't need much. And we're going to roll it out about, centimetre thick. Now there's 2 ways of doing this, I'll show you both ways. Doesn't have to be fancy shape, because all we're going to do is bake this as it is. And that'll do, that's about a centimetre thick. Now you can either bake it like that, turn it halfway through and then bake the other side, 10 minutes, 180-ish. Or what you can do, because we want this to bake bone dry, you can, if you want, make a load of rolls, about a centimetre thick. A bit like that. You can bake those, or you could even cut it into strips now to save cut it into strips later, because we want to get this bone dry. So what I'm going to do now is going to push those to one side a second. Get my baking tray, make a lot of clattery noises with this rolling pin. It's not a bad one actually, this stainless one. It's got measurements on it, I don't know if maybe use those, but nothing seems to stick to it, which is quite good. I've got a silicone one, which claims to be non-stick, but things stick to it. Just going to grease and line the baking tray, only very lightly. I use this stuff. What's it called? Decora non-stick spray. It's all vegetable oil basically. And put your paper on. Now, if your paper tends to roll up like a lot of people's does, what I'll do is just grab it, and it's going to make a lot of noise. Give it a good scrunching. And once it's all scrunched up, it will basically stay any shape you want it to. Yeah. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to put these on here. Right then, and in the oven now with this, I'm going to say 10 minutes at 180, and then I'll turn the temperature down a bit and turn them over. I'll bring you back for that. Okay then, they've been in the oven for 10 minutes. I got the temperature wrong. It should be 220 for 10 minutes. Then flip them over, back in 180 for another 10 minutes. Now you can do this as a whole big slab. You don't need to cut them up like this. I'm just thinking it'd be quicker to cook, that's all. Certainly wouldn't bother cutting up if I had a great big piece, twice the size. Right then, back in 10 minutes, guys. Okay then, guys, that's been 10 minutes at 180. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut a piece off one of them, see if it's dry enough yet. I don't think it will be, but no, still wet in the middle, look. So just keep baking now until they're bone dry, basically. At the end of it, just leave them to dry out in the oven. I'll tell you what I could do. Break the ends off like that, just to dry a bit quicker. A bit warm. It's alright, I used to be a welder. Okay, back in another 10 minutes or so. Now you notice I've cut them open. Normally I just leave them in the oven, the cooling oven, and they go dry. I haven't got time today, I want to get on with it. So I'll put these to one side and get the food processor out. Okay, that looked too bad. Yeah, it's a good mix in there. We got some, what I would call large, we got some medium, we got some pinhead, and we got some fine, so I'm going to save those in different containers. Yeah, that'll do for big burgers, I think. Right then, let's find some containers. Okay then. Medium to coarse, and fine pinhead. Here we are. Oh, nearly dropped it. Here we are, guys. 2 types of rusk. And this one will be going in a pie very soon. 2 different types of rusk. Coarse. And let's call that pinhead. Well, that's a bit different. I'll tell you what, that I've not seen another video. Sorry, I'm lying. I've only ever seen one video on this. A bit weird, really, isn't it? Because I think most people probably just buy it from the shop. It's like breadcrumbs. It's like panko, but it's made with unleavened dough, whereas breadcrumbs has got yeast in it. So maybe that's the difference. I don't know. Right, I'm going to get some lids for these. Take those downstairs, and then get on with another recipe. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Something a bit different.